Hi, this is Dominic from Paphos Life, and in today's film we're going cross-country from Ineia to Neo Chorio along the Akamas. So let's have the map up first of all, and at the just before Fazli we're turning to one of the tracks in the Akamas and keeping on that. At one point we come to a junction, but we take the eastern route towards the fire station, and there we turn east again past Smygies picnic camp and head down to Neo Chorio. Now, this is not a route you should take if you're in a hire car, unless you've got express permission from the lender that it is covered by the insurance policy. And it probably isn't. So if in doubt, check, because if you get stuck out here, you could be in trouble otherwise. Having said that, a lot of the road has been done up, as you can see here, as part of the Akamas road improvement scheme. But there are chunks of it which haven't been touched. So I would say, unless you're in a 4x4, don't come down here. You will see cars, regular cars here, but it's mainly the domain of buggies and four-wheel drive vehicles. It's beautiful scenery at the moment. Lovely sunny day with a few clouds, perfect for filming. And we're using the wide-angle lens mod to give us a bit of view. Look, we've got a bit of a rush out here. Terrible, I know. Anyway, if you like our films, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and share them far and wide. The more people who see them, the better it benefits us, and leave comment, etc. And if you want to help us out financially, go to our Buy Me a Coffee page at buymeacoffee.com/Paphos Live. Chuck us free coffees, they are gratefully received. If you want to get something back in return, go to our Etsy shop at etsy.com/shop/Paphos Life. There you can buy all sorts of memorabilia from Paphos, featuring pictures that we've taken and posted on Facebook and then stuck on mugs, phone covers, that sort of thing, calendars as well. Speaking of Facebook, our Paphos Live Facebook page is the place to go if you want to get notified whenever we post anything on YouTube, Facebook, or our main website, be it an article or something. That's the marketing out and done with at the beginning, which is how we like it. Now, in this instance, we take the low road, so to speak. If we'd gone left there, we'd have, not sure where it would have come out. It would have been between Lara Bay and Akoursos Gorge. But we are going straight ahead. If you remember our Green Day film we did about kite flying, the place we stopped to fly the kites is just up here. I'll point that out to you. But we're going to have a bit of music first, because it's a longish film and there's quite a bit of time to fill. I hope you like the suitably Western theme music, but that's the kind of image that the countryside portrays to me. So anyway, yeah, I talked about the kite flying spot. That's just over this little, coming down here. There's a junction ahead. And that we parked the car to fly the kite just in there on the left there. And you can also see past this car, there's a turning on the right. And you can drive up there. It only goes to the top of that hill. It might go further now, but the last time I drove up there, it goes to the top of that hill. It's a very good lookout point if you want to get a panorama of the entire Akamas and indeed the whole of Kritou Bay as well. But we're staying on the road for now. The track to the left that we didn't take in this film, we took in our Green Monday film, and that does take you right down to Lava Bay area just after it, in fact. We're staying in the middle. There are actually two tracks that go across the middle of the Akamas like this. We'll come to a junction in a while, and the left-hand turn is the one you would take if you wanted to go do a loop and come around back to Paya via Lava Bay. Not sure what that car was doing. But take in some of the views now when you go around this corner. And if you're doing your own drive here, you should stop fairly frequently just to enjoy the view. Because obviously I'm doing a driving film, so I can't. But on other times I often do. This crash barrier here is fairly new. And the road's been improved quite a lot here. Now it's a bit misleading though, having a good road here, because later on it's a lot worse. And you might have seen in the previous part of the film when the music was playing, there was a bit of a rut in the middle of the road too. That happens every year when it rains, basically. So any road system they build here, they have to make sure they put in decent drainage, otherwise in a year or two it'll just get washed away. But the key rule obviously is just to drive nice and slowly, because especially in the summer months you'll get quite a few buggies along here. I've even seen one buggy that had turned over at one point. They're all okay. So we're keeping to the main road again. Now this bit up ahead is quite interesting to me personally, because I've driven down here with the 360 camera on the roof in the past. Admittedly, it was a previous iteration of the 360 because I've had several over the years. And the road was so bumpy that the camera actually fell off its bracket that attaches it to the roof. And luckily, I just stuck my arm out of the window, because I had the window open, and it plonked into the ridge on the opposite side of my elbow, and I just closed my arm, and I managed to catch it before it hit the ground. But otherwise that would have been a very expensive little mishap. So I don't do the 360 camera on this route anymore for that reason. There was a nasty fire just over that ridge as well a few years ago, but it seems to have grown back again nicely, which is good to see. And once we get past that little opening, we'll have a bit more music, I think. So let's get ready for some more Western music. Now, a little while ago in the film, you'll have seen the junction I had been talking about. If you do turn left there, you will eventually come to another junction before you go down all the way to the southern coast in the Akamas. So it is possible to, at that junction, turn right again, and that will bring you back onto this road later on. Now, I haven't done the route myself for a while, and I do know that part of it at least was one way. For instance, if you turned left there, theoretically you wouldn't have met another car coming the opposite direction, because it always used to be one-way traffic from the other junction that way. But I don't know if that's still the case, since they've updated and improved some of the roads around here. So just drive carefully is all I will say, because the last thing you want to be doing is going full pelt on a road like this and then swerving to avoid an oncoming vehicle. Get some more amazing views here though. If you haven't got a four-wheel drive car, then one of the best ways, I guess, to explore would be on with a buggy hire. You can hire them independently, i.e. on your own, for just yourselves, or you can be part of a bigger group. If you check out the Viator site, you'll see numerous options available, but most resorts will have signs up for one firm or another that's offering them. I would say check reviews, etc. first though, because you don't want to get something that's dodgy. To be honest, I very rarely hear bad reports about the hire car and the buggy hire companies in Cyprus. It's not like there's a huge scam problem that you get some places, but it always pays to be careful and check the insurance and stuff like that. But yes, driving here in the summer with a buggy. Another thing about the big groups, the dust, if you're in the middle of one of the big groups, must be quite annoying. I mean, I know it's annoying if you're driving behind one of these groups with the camera on the roof. I mean, you can forget the footage basically, because it's just going to be, the camera lens is going to get covered in dust. But now I'll stick up a link in the description of the picture for various Viator buggy tours that are available. But as I said, if you're hiring a car, you may well find that you're not allowed to drive it here, even if it's like you're hiring a four-wheel drive car. That small print is worth checking. I do hear reports that like car hire companies are putting GPS trackers in their cars so that they can detect this. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if you do have a problem out here, that is when, I mean, the car hire company will hear about it basically then. And you might end up getting stung because the small print in your contract will say you have to stick on main roads. Anyway, that's enough of car hire. I think we should have a little bit more music. I have to say, I'm liking the wide angle view I changed to after the last experiment. You get to see a lot more of the countryside and it looks lovely. I think that will be here to stay. There's a nice ditch in the middle of the road here. When you come across things like that, it's very important that you just go as slow as you can. And don't just try going over it quickly, otherwise you can do serious damage to your car. Yes, I got quite a lot of feedback from that experiment I did, so I'm glad I did that. There are a few lens additions that I can look at for the GoPro as well. So my experiments may continue in the near future. Something to look out for. Yeah, if you do like this kind of film, then it really will help if you can share it and do what you can to promote it, basically, because these sorts of films never get as much views as a loop around Paphos, or driving from Paphos to Coral Bay, or on the hotel strip. They're always the ones that get the most views. But to me, like, especially these sort of films are far more interesting. I can understand, as I said before, why people do want to see familiar places, because it reminds them of the nice holidays they've had and brings back happy memories. And less people have been out here, but the more people who get to see them. I mean, the one thing that's, if you like, the saving grace of this sort of film is that the people who do watch them tend to watch them for a lot longer, which in terms of things like ad revenue and all that does help a great deal. So even though they get less overall views, the actual hours viewed per film isn't that bad at all for this kind of film. Well, now we're coming up to Smygies picnic area, which is very popular. A good time to avoid this place is on a Cypriot bank holiday, because it will be choking. It will be really busy. I'm always puzzled as to what the etiquette is if, like, people come there wanting to use the barbecues and they're all in use. What happens? I don't know. But anyway, you've got time for one last bit of music, which we'll have once we got past Smygies picnic area. There are loos here as well, which is good to know. They don't expect restaurant or hotel quality. The last main feature coming up here is a donkey farm. As you can just see, people taking some pictures. And there's a little donkey there, very cute. And now we're going to be getting onto a more decent quality road, which will take us to the village of Neo Chorio. And we'll stop filming here. There'll be the next film in this series tomorrow. We'll go from Neo Chorio down to Aphrodite's Baths. And the final film on Thursday will go from Aphrodite's Baths to Polis. And on Friday I'll probably do a 360 of, I haven't decided which one yet, probably from Neo Chorio to Aphrodite's Baths, because that will be a good one for the 360 camera, I think. So, and that'll be the week of this nice drive. And next week I'll probably go a bit more commercial again, I think. There's a few, and I should be back up to be able to do some walkie-talkie films in as well. But this bug I've had is on its way out, but it's still lingering a little bit. And by next week it'll be completely gone though. And all things will be back to normal. I did fly some, do some drone flights at Aphrodite's Baths as well. It's a very good place to fly with a drone. So that will probably go out, one of those will go out tomorrow. Or it's today, I guess, when you're watching this. It's difficult because the film goes out on a different day when I actually do the audio for it. It's the way YouTube works, because you have to upload it, and then you have to check that you don't get any copyright notices for the music, even though you downloaded it from a proper site anyway. You still have to then tell them that you have done. It's a pain in the arse, I have to say. So anyway, I will just say thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next film when we go through the village and down to Aphrodite's Baths. Cheers!